Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm here with Nico and he's the founder of Photoclaim. And please don't skip because this will be super interesting. He's gonna help you make money with your photos, I promise you. So Nico, please tell us what you do, what you've created with your wife.
Hey Duncan, first of all, thank you for me being here. So my wife and me, we founded Photoclaim, which is a company that helps photographers when companies are stealing their photos, so that you can monetize actually your copyright, even if companies prefer to steal your work.
So he's pretty much the Robin Hood of photographers. I've told him that already a few times. You started this whole thing because you found out that some of the photos you had were stolen, like you said. How much money did you get back yourself from, I want you to tell me because I think people don't realize how much photo had been stolen from you.
I had around 7,000 cases of my own yet.
How many photos do you have online, dude?
Not that many.
7,000 cases, that's insane.
I have, my portfolio is around 400 photos.
How many photos or how many people have you been able to help gain back money for photos that have been stolen?
So in the 5 years that we're active now, we have already regained 4.4 million euros for photographers.
Excuse me? How many?
4.4 million.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That is crazy, okay.
So the problem is huge, and it's basically a never stopping thing.
Because I did hear you talk about how they don't even care anymore because they'll steal it, and then if they have to pay for it, then they'll just pay for it because they're in some countries they don't even have I don't have the word for it, but they don't have any.
They have no penalty for it.
Exactly.
Yes, correct. So in Europe, the system is basically that way, that if you steal a photo, you have to pay the same amount of money as if you would have bought the license in the first place, which obviously makes it for companies an easy decision to rather steal than to buy a license. So we indeed have some cases where companies stole like 5-6 times and they just tell us, yeah, like just send us the letters, we will pay you, it's fine for us. Because we know it still makes sense for them because most photographers don't take care of it. And so, yeah, they get away with it more often than they get busted.
Yeah, so what's the process for starting your claim and seeing if people have your photos have been stolen?
Yeah, so as a photographer, I would always recommend to first of all go to the Google image search and just use it reversely. So this is like a free tool. You can just drag and drop your image into the search bar of Google Images, and it will show you everywhere where your photo is used. This is the same what we do kind of at Photoclaim, just obviously we have it automated and we use a bit more than just the Google search function. So we find a little bit more, but that's ultimately how it works. So
the best thing would be for like say I have some photos online. I know I've had some for a while. So instead of just going and asking you for asking for your service right away, what I can do is just do it myself. And if I see that some of the photos have been stolen, then I can contact you. I mean,
you
obviously
certainly can. You can also contact us right away.
Okay.
We have on our website photoclaim.com. You can click on apply now. You send us your first like 20 photos approximately, where you have the feeling that they might be the most often stolen because you see that on your website they get the most traffic, or they went on Flickr into the explore section, or like any kind of thing which makes you think like, okay, those is probably my most used photos. And then we go through this, we find it, and we have a look if there's actually something where we can help you with.
And how long would it take for, let's say, I give you my photos, and how long would it take for you to be like, hey guy, you got some photos stolen, we're going to work on this?
So the application process at the moment takes approximately 2 weeks for us to get back to you to say if we can really work together in the long term. So if we see that we cannot work together, then we'll likely see this faster. So it's like it depends a bit.
Okay, but at least 2 weeks, and but that's awesome. I mean, it kind of like reversed the whole thing. I want my photos to be stolen. Like I've told you already, it's one of those things where now all I want to do is put my photos online, no copyright, and I mean I'm sure you have like better, I'll ask you later on, but like this is my first thought. I was like, what have I been doing? I've been trying, doing copyrights all over my photos, like, and doing low resolution. Now all I want to do is put high resolution, no copyright, almost be like, please take my photos. I mean, it's kind of stupid, but you want your photos to be stolen.
Well, You don't want them to be stolen. You still want
You do.
No. I still want to have people actually buying my photos, right?
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I have to accept the reality right now that because of how the whole legal system is, that it's, well, difficult to say, hey, those companies, they don't want to. Anyways, what I recommend for every photographer is still to put yourself out there in the best possible way, to position yourself that companies find you. There will be companies who will contact you and who want to buy a license, which are the really nice and great companies. But in the same time, obviously, this will also put you out there and put you in the risk of image theft. What we saw among all our clients, what is the biggest cause of both licensing and image theft is indeed the Google image search. So a well SEO optimized personal website or blog where you share your photography, and surprisingly Flickr. So Flickr is right now underrated and like not anymore used by many photographers because the basically the website was not that useful, right, for the last 3-4 years, let's say. But still, many companies use the search function of Flickr, which I personally get a lot of requests actually still for licensing from companies which find me via Flickr. So this is something that we saw. Both those things are very important for photographers.
Also, another thought that I have is I know some companies like 500px, or even, I don't have all the names of them, but like they do sell you photos before like, I mean, you see those ridiculous number like 0.002 cents or 5 cents or 3 euros, and it's like, don't even license your photos, just have them out there. And I mean, the point is to show your work, and like you said, some company will contact you because they want to buy and don't want to go through the whole stealing process.
Stay away from microstock.
From what?
No, from microstock agencies, be it Shutterstock, be it iStock, be it like, don't like, if you sell your photos for like 20 cents, it's like, A, it's not going to make you a living, and B, it messes up your whole value of your photography.
Yeah.
So unless you're out there and you have like 1 million photos and you know that, okay, this can work, it's like, no, this is not the way for photographers. We have some clients who unfortunately sold their photos via stock before. So this is for us always like a difficult thing, if we can work together or not, if someone works with stock, because then the photos are out there and the stock agencies, they do a horrible job for the photographers. They don't care like at all, because they don't give the photographer like a list of like where did, who bought the images. Such kind of stuff, and then you don't know anymore what is legal, what is illegal. So we have some clients who say like, okay, I didn't sell much, I didn't sell maybe 5 times, plus the companies have to put my name there, so I'm fairly confident that if they don't put the name, it's illegal. So they anyways go ahead with us. And then sometimes the company writes like, yeah, but I bought a license here. Okay, that's still fine, but then like the stock agency contacted the photographer and like, hey, look, what, like, please don't do this, this is our customers. And now the photographer basically told them, guys, I don't work with you anymore. With Photoclaim, I make already 20 times as much than I did with you over the last 6 years. So I don't care what you have with your clients. If you don't get this under control, that's your problem. So,
I see. Yeah. All right, cool, awesome. So what I wrote is like tips on getting your photos stolen. Don't do copyright, I've said that already. Upload a high resolution. And
it's good that you mention it, not me.
Yeah, but it's the thing, like this is, unfortunately, companies are making it, I mean, you kind of have to do that, so I'm gonna start doing this. My photos are gonna be all over the internet very soon, I promise. And hold on, let me see if I have another questions. Yeah, what if your photos, let's say, what if a company stole your photos 2 or 3 years ago, had them up, is there a way for you to track them down and be like, hey, you used that photo 3 years ago, can you still claim money for it?
Sometimes. So if you are a steady client with us and we track your portfolio ongoing into the future, right? Then we find such things, even if they delete it, but we have your portfolio in there. So Google Images, like it was once in the Google search, for example, then we do still find it. There is, for example, the web.archive.org, I think is the exact URL, which is like crawling websites and makes like snapshots of how websites were looking like. So even if the image is removed now, we can still have a look at that and see like how this website looked like 5 months ago. Not always you have those snapshots, but if our engine identifies it, we ping this website and say, hey, please make a screenshot. So then it's there. It's an archived version, and you can find it. So there are
there's
ways.
chances.
There are chances for sure.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. And obviously, it has to be digital because anything on paper is. I mean,
You would be surprised what we found already.
Really?
Yes, like I found my photo being printed on a restaurant menu. I think it was somewhere in Tuscany, because someone made a photo of the menu and put it on TripAdvisor.
oh
So
Lord.
even if you have like papers,
Yeah.
you would be surprised because of smartphones how easy it actually gets to the web. So we found also printed magazines and stuff, because then usually they put a PDF version up, or like you would be surprised what you find, and then you're like, wow, what is this? And we found like merchandise being sold and like all kind of stuff.
That is insane. Well, fair enough. The thing that we talked about also is how do you prove that it's your photo? And you told me a few things that I would like you to tell them, like proving that it's your camera and all that stuff.
Yeah. So indeed, there are a couple of things that are like that. Basically, I had to make this experience. Those were my problems that I identified when I went to court, where it then basically didn't work out because I couldn't convince the judge. Is exactly that: how to do the copyright. And with the camera, the one thing is in your EXIF data, you see the serial number. So the EXIF data, the EXIF number is the number is in the EXIF data. So on your camera body, you have that same matching thing. So if you can go to court and say like, look, here's my camera, this number is the same as what you have there, the judge is very likely to believe you.
Yeah.
Now the problem is with photographers, you upgrade your gear over time, right? So very often you sell your camera and you don't have it anymore, and you cannot show anymore to the judge, hey, look, this is a camera, that's this, because it's not there. So it's very important to like keep track of like who you sell it to, like kind of figure that out. And what I do personally is I make a video which shows like the serial number on the camera. Then I go over to my passport so they see it's clearly connected, and I put something with a date on, so like a website with a date or a newspaper, so that you can see at what point in time this was. So that I have, again, it's all about convincing the judge.
Yeah, because it seems overkill what you're doing, because all you would have to do is show the raw. But you were telling me that judges don't really understand.
They don't necessarily understand. I had opponents claiming, but anybody can manipulate the raw file, which we photographers know how it works, right? But a judge is not necessarily an expert on that. And then like another thing that's helpful is to keep the series. Like, you go out, you shoot, you make more than just the one shot that you published. Don't throw away the rest, but like keep it, because then you have like similar things with the same daylight. So you can kind of show, look, I have a couple of those. The opponent will never be able to show you that because only I have it, because I never even published it. So this is another great way of actually showing that this whole series was mine. Yes, so we are active all over the European Union. We are also in the US, Canada, Australia. So that plus many, many more countries we are trying. It always works in a way that we try with my personal cases first. So because that's the main service I'm actually saying we're having, is that we're testing the lawyers we work with. Because half of the lawyers that we work with, they are horrible. And then we say like, that's no way that we can do it. So only if we have been successful with me, then we can say, okay, this is something we can offer to our clients. These are lawyers that we can trust. As for the photographers, we have worldwide reach. So it doesn't matter where the photographer is based. It just matters where the opponent is based, because you have to go to the country of the opponent to make the claims. That's the problem.
Okay, cool. And what's the average? What's the average someone will get from a photo stolen? Around, I know if it's broad, because depending on the use of it, but
it's extremely broad because it depends on like how it was used, if it was on web, social media, how old, etc. But you can say approximately 800 euros, because like in there is like 100% surcharge for not mentioning the photographer name. So they have to pay once for the licensing, and then they have to pay a second time for not mentioning your name, kind of as a penalty for the marketing that you missed because of it. Because in the copyright, it's written that you always have to mention the author.
Okay.
That applies to photographers as well as to writers.
This is actually amazing. I mean, it actually happened to me. We're not going to talk about that, but a photo of mine has been posted in a magazine, which I did for a client, and they didn't mention me. The magazine did not mention me when the client said you should mention him. That'd be interesting. I guess I have one photo that I can give back. Maybe it's in a magazine. I can't remember which one, but I took a bunch of screenshots. But interesting. That's already 800 euros times about 3 or 4, maybe. But yeah, it's an amazing company. I really love the concept. The second I heard what you were doing, I was like, okay, I need to do a thing on you because it's amazing. And what's the big difference between your rivals? I'm sure you're not the only company that does that. What's the main difference? How would you sell me your company? You take 33%, 35%?
Yes, exactly. So
amazing.
So from that point, our competitors and us, we're all very similar, apart from a few who have like a normal, like a steady fee.
Okay.
Most of them are like us, that you pay nothing until you actually get paid, and then you give us a commission, which is 35%. We're doing one thing very, very different than I think all of our competitors at this point, is that we go right away with lawyers, while our competitors use a bunch of interns and like send the messages out themselves to the opponents, which has problems. Like they do post licensing, because to actually do an official legal thing, you need to be a lawyer.
Okay.
So what they offer is the opponent, hey, you used this photo, could you please buy a license now for the use in the past, which is charged because the opponent has to pay for the lawyer fee additionally.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I want this because they have to pay more than my paying clients. So our competitors basically go there and say, hey, look, you used it, please pay the licensing fee now, which means like, this is exactly the problem. They enforce this, like, hey, it's fine to steal, now you just pay the licensing later on. Which I don't like it. So I want to do it totally legally and say like, the lawyer goes, you say, you have to remove the photo now. It's not licensed, and like you just pay for the penalty. You take it off, you sign a contract that you don't use this photo anymore unless you buy a license for the future. Okay. So they have the option to pay the penalty for the past and buy a license for the future. But not to say, hey, please pay the license now, and that's it. So this is where we are mainly different. Yeah,
it feels like just a little tap on the hand, like you've been bad, rather than just going.
They have the saying that because you want to be, they already like your photos, you want to make them your clients, and like this is the kind of the approach to it. And some photographers are a bit worried to right away go legal, and you want to do it nice. I did it in the beginning myself. I totally understand. I'm a very empathic person, and I always think people don't want to do me any harm and everything. So in the beginning, I didn't take lawyers, and I wrote to them myself, to the opponents. But frankly, the feedback that I got is like horrible. And I guess many photographers have done this and have tried that. And then you get in your face like, yeah, but this photo is nothing. Like, yeah, we deleted it now, but go away. We don't pay you. It's like out of 10 emails that I sent like that, I get like probably 5 insults back, and then it's like, why do I want to bother with this? It's like it fucks up my creativity. Like,
So you can try that. You can try doing your own search. You can try emailing them, and then you can go and see him to send the lawyers. But because I'm sure the second you have a lawyer, it shuts people down, and it does bring some. I mean, obviously it's powerful to have a lawyer on your side. Yeah. Thank you again, Nico, and
thank you.
Please go and check him out. If you have a lot of photos online, do it. You're not gonna lose any money. You're not gonna put any money forward at all, which is amazing. This is like the best company for photographers ever. I'm not getting anything from this. It's just like I wanted to put this guy out there because he's doing an amazing job as Robin Hood for photographers. So go and check him out. Subscribe to my channel, guys. Like this video, and hopefully I see you in the next one. And let me know in the comments below if you've done that. Let me know, hey, I've sent 20 photos, and let me know if you actually have found and gotten money back because of this guy. So I'll see you in the next one. And we're here in Iceland. We have one more day, and it's been amazing. And I'll show you some of the photos that we took in Iceland, and hopefully they'll be stolen soon or bought legally. They'll be even better. Thank you, and see you in the next one.